Good morning. I'd like to visit with you about the scriptural concept that a man's ministry will make room for itself. Of course, there's always the temptation once you have expressed, you feel a call to the ministry, and you find yourself needing to sometimes get some acknowledgement of that from other people. And it becomes an awkward situation when you are trying to put yourself forward. I've studied, I'm ready. I think I have something to say. I had been in the ministry for some time, and I remember being at what was called a manifest meeting back in Maryland area. And Brother Chester Wright was leading the meeting, and I felt like maybe I had something to say, and so I went to him, and I probably said something like, I think I've got something. In other words, something to add to what had already been said, or something during that time in the meeting, which there could be multiple speakers at any time. And so I think I went and said something like, I think I've got something. And so he said, okay. And so he, gave me the mic. And so I began to share what it was that I felt like I had to say. And in my mind, it just kind of fell flat. I spoke it out, I shared it, and immediately I was sorry that I had put myself forward, that I put myself in a position rather than wait until those who are in charge to call on me. And so, you don't, this was not when I was really, really young. I probably did that a couple of times when I was a lot younger in my ministry, but I've just learned that no matter what inspiration or direction that you feel, when there are others leading a meeting, a gathering of some kind, just wait to be called on. You can have the confidence that God will speak to leadership if He is speaking to you, and the two will work in harmony. So a man's ministry will make room for itself. I think at last count, I have ministered in more than a dozen countries around the world. I've never asked to go. I've never invited myself. I never put myself out there. It was literally other men that would either ask me to go with them, or there were those that reached out and asked me to come and minister in some particular meeting. Many conferences, many scenarios. I'll tell you of one matter of fact. I went to China. I got a connection through Brother Tony Bailey, who was out of the Atlanta, Georgia area at the time. He had gone to Singapore and ministered for Brother Steve Willoughby. And when he returned from that, and then he and I had connected, actually at another meeting in Peoria, Illinois, he said that Brother Willoughby had a dream and said, you will come back to Singapore and you'll bring another man with you. And so Tony Bailey said to me, he said, you're the man. And so I accepted that, and then the next time it was scheduled for him to go, he and I traveled together, and he and I jointly ministered in that meeting. What's interesting was Brother Willoughby would then put together a trip into China, and he extended an invitation to myself and Tony Bailey to go to China with him. There would be others traveling there as well. And turns out Brother Bailey, he was unable to go. And they called it a prayer walk in China. They really didn't revealed the details of what that would all mean, actually, until we got there. And so we really weren't walking around and praying, but they had organized meetings throughout various cities in China where we would go and minister in. There was one night that I ministered in a house. It was owned by one of their leaders. There were 40 what they referred to as pastors there. And those pastors were leading underground congregations. Some of those pastors were leading as many as 2,000 members. So the representation of, let's say, the saints of God or the body of Christ throughout China was quite large. Just in that one meeting, it was in a house. I was the speaker selected by Brother Willoughby for that night. Now, I would have never guessed that those things would have transpired or that I would have a place of involvement in them. This is why I say to you, you really don't have to make a way for yourself. You really don't have to push yourself forward in the eyes of others. I've had some young men who have introduced themselves to me by preceding their name by, I'm Reverend Joe Smith or something to that effect, or they let me know right away, I've got a local license, with the United Pentecostal Church. And it's kind of their way of letting me know, hey, I'm in the ministry, I'm qualified, you can use me. And what I would let you know is you really don't have to do that. And if the call of God is upon you, the Lord will make a way. He will reveal that to others, and they will engage you in ministry. And that's really the best scenario. That's really what you want to wait for. You want to be called on by others. No matter if you got a burning desire in your heart and in your spirit, and you just can't wait to unleash that word or that inspiration, wait upon those who are in authority, who are in charge, to call on you. Get my drift? Okay.